5 waiting. Hey, can anybody hear us? Can anybody see us?
Hello. And welcome. Florida Grand.
About ready?
Sure. Oh, Ronnie Farr.
They can hear us.
Oh. Ronnie is not one of our regulars, so good to see you. Oops, that was supposed to be an exclamation point after hi, not a one. Okay.
I say it's 2 o'clock.
We are live.
And it's us. Hey, hello everyone and welcome. Hey, we're at episode number 200 of What Does This Button Do?
200.
I think that deserves a toast.
And special red shirts. You know, we're not doing anything particularly special for the episode, but so red shirts, and it is a little bit of a different episode today. So here's to 200. Good number.
That's right. Okay. We are an educational show about smartphones and technology with us, Geeks On Tour. And today's show is about self-publishing and how we do it. And all that stuff will be explained, I hope. But guess what book we self-published?
And if you have gotten your book, we would love to get a selfie photo of you. We have this shared album where we're putting them all.
Yeah. All right, the Amazon book is now available. Go to Amazon.com and search for Learn Google Photos. But we also have a special right now. What's that about, Chris?
Well, you can't get the spiral bound through Amazon, and so you just go to learngooglephotos.com for that. It is the same price right now through the end of September as the normal binding.
So that's only a few more days.
Just 5 more days to get the spiral bind for the special price. We will still be offering it, but it goes up to $34.95 after the October 1st, on October 1st.
Because all that work I have to put into it. Okay, our first tip, images for your book. They must be high resolution, at least
300 DPI, and let me explain. You see that picture on the left, it looks clear and sharp. That is high resolution. The picture on the right, you can actually see some of the little squares, the pixels, and that is low resolution. DPI, and this is important for if you're going to do a print book. This is really important. So this is just a tip here. DPI versus PPI. DPI means dots per inch, and it's the term used for print resolution. It's just kind of the way this evolved, whereas PPI is pixels per inch, and that refers to the digital resolution, like on a computer screen. Pixels are what make up a digital photo, dots are what make up a printed photo. But pixels and dots are basically interchangeable. So if you take a 300 pixel photo, no, that's okay, a 300 pixel photo at 300 dots per inch, how big is it? 1 inch. If you stretch that picture out to 3 inches, what was 300 dots per inch is now 100 dots per inch. Is that? I hope that makes sense. That's just kind of simplifying. There's a lot more to know, but simplifying is 300 dots per inch. You're only going to get 1 inch out of a 300 pixel photo. 300 is the magic number. It could be higher, but 300 is kind of the minimum, at least recommended by the system that we use. So here's your little quiz. Here's a picture of our first RV. And if you just hover over it in the Windows filing system, I'm not sure about on Mac, but on Windows, all I have to do is hover over the thumbnail in the Files and Folders system, and it tells me the dimensions of this photo is 2048 by 1360. So will you be able to print 4 inches with that? Well, let's see. 4 inches times 300 per inch equals 1200. So yes, that RV photo at 2048 will print 4 inches no problem. It will even go up higher than that, but 4 inches will be a nice, sharp, high-resolution picture. The next one, this, you just hover your mouse over it and it comes up and says the dimensions of this photo are 800 by 738. Will you be able to print a 4 inches wide photo? How many did I say you need? 4 times 300.
1200.
You need 1200, and this is 800. Now, if this is the only photo you have, then you might have to make do, but 1200 is what you really want. And last one is a screenshot. So this screenshot was just 404 pixels wide. That's going to be pretty lousy, although it's just text, so maybe not too bad. So the RV, yes, you'll be able to print a 4 inches photo. Jim and Chris, no, you won't. And the screenshot, no, you won't. Can you fix a low resolution image? The basic answer is no. You need to retake the photo or find the original in order to get the high resolution image that you need to print in your book. But I have found you can cheat. I mean, if that screenshot, that's the most pixels that you can get by capturing the piece of the screen that you need, and you need that, well, you can bring that into an image editor program like Photoshop. I use Snagit. There's also GIMP and Pixlr. They will resize photos. They can both decrease the number of pixels. That's what happens more often than not. But they can also increase the number of pixels. Realize what's happening, though. They can't actually make a better photo, a higher quality photo. What they do is they just copy the pixels that are there and interpolate them between existing pixels. So it's not great, but it does help, and it will make your photo pass the test of being enough pixels for the print job.
Cool. All right. Hi, I'm Jim, and here together with my wife, Chris, we're Geeks on Tour. And do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your iPhone or your Android tablet or any of these amazing devices? How do you learn?
Well, we are geeks, also known as propeller heads. That's why we wear these funny little hats. We are geeks who teach. And we think the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So we just come up with a different topic, and a couple of times a month on Sunday afternoons, we do this YouTube show and teach. All of our teachings are collected on our website at geeksontour.com.
All right. Where are we now, Chris?
We're home. We're still self-isolating, but we are going to hit the road in about 10 days, October 6th through 8th.
Yeah, we have a small RV rally. It's a road trek rally. We are in a road trek now. We've downsized from the big rigs, and we're not full-time anymore. So we have this little rally that we're going to do. It should be a lot of fun.
Everybody promises to wear their masks and stay socially distant, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, we want to say hi to all of our friends, and gosh, golly, who's here? Everybody's here. Ron and Bill and Ronnie and Liz and Gary and Richard and Judy. Cool Judy.
Cool Judy.
Hey, Lauren's from South California. Jolin from the Low Country. All right.
Oh, and I see that Mark...
And Jimmy from LBI.
Oh.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Jimmy. And, and Ronnie from our dive club. And Debbie Diver... Not recently from our dive club, but long-time dive buddy. Hey, Debbie. And Mark Davis says that on a Mac, you click the eye in the upper right-hand side when you're looking at a photo and you want to see the pixels, the number of pixels, the resolution of that photo. So that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Okay, here we go. How to self-publish your book. We use Kindle Direct Publishing, and we'll give you a brief overview of that process. We'll also introduce you to Nick Russell, who has self-published 42 books using this same system.
And I'm hoping that Nick is watching here. If you're here, Nick, say hi, and other people might say hi to you. So first, and so this is Nick. 42 books.
Wow.
Look at that. I am just so impressed. And we did record an interview with him, and we'll be showing you that a little later in the show. I want to start by giving you a brief instruction as to what we're talking about when we say self-publishing. There's Nick. Hi. Everybody say hi to Nick. I've written a recent article on this, so I'm going to refer to some links. If you want to read the article, just go to our website, and under blogs and news, you will see a heading that says articles. Click on that, and the most recent article is how we self-published the book on Google Photos, and there's some links that we're going to be talking about today. First of all, why? Why self-publish? Well, and I wanted to mention this because if you would like to just have a book of your travel stories, for yourself, just for yourself and a few family members, I think the best way is to keep a blog. And then, using a website called Blog to Print, you can make a book of your blog. We've done that every year since 2004. We have a whole shelf full. They're like yearbooks. And that doesn't involve Amazon. You're not going to be selling it. So that's just kind of an aside that it's a really cool, easy way to keep writing your stories. And then just when you have enough stories of your life to publish, make a book of the blog. I published a book because I have a particular expertise. I have a real expertise in the Google Photos product. So I wanted to put everything I know in a book and establish my expertise and my credibility. And yes, I would like to sell some of them, but mostly I just want it available. So that's why I published a book. Then the third reason, you might have a lot of stories in you, like our friend Nick, and you want to write a lot of books and you want to get them published. self-publishing is a way to reach a worldwide audience and make lots of sales while keeping complete creative control and maximizing your royalties. And you'll hear Nick talk about that when we show you the interview. So what are the steps? The steps. You have to write it. You might be surprised to know that all you need is Microsoft Word or a similar word processor that you already know. It's pretty easy. I recommend using the template that Kindle Direct Publishing provides, and you'll see that in a minute. Step 2 is editing. Get help for that, okay? You can't edit your own book, and you might want more than one editor, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Designing a cover. As Nick has told me, you might not be able to tell a book by its cover, but you'll definitely sell a book by its cover. So get help, get a nice cover designed. It doesn't cost that much. Then to publish it, we use Kindle Direct Publishing, also known as KDP. There are other ways, but this is part of Amazon. So if you publish it using KDP, you're on Amazon, and it's by far the most popular. Marketing. Now, you use social media. Social media is a great way to market. And as Nick will tell you, you don't just market it once a month or once a week. You market every day if you want to sell and make a living from books. You know, we put a lot of effort into like our first month, and then it's just kind of available. So those are the basic steps. There is a lot to editing, and our friend Judy Reinheimer, who was one of my editors and also edits Nick's books, said these are all the different references that she uses. There's a lot to editing, and you absolutely need somebody else's eyes. Don't think that you can edit your own book. And I have a little experience of the difference between proofreading and developmental editing. I found somebody who, used to work in the publishing and the editing business. And she helped me all along the way. Because she helped me develop the book along the way, I changed some of the orders of my chapters. I changed some of the focus because she helped me see my book from the reader's point of view rather than just from my expertise. She helped me see the forest for the trees. So that's a bit of a different, and I do have a link to her in the article on our website. So here's a little video as a brief run through as to exactly how it works using Kindle Direct Publishing. Hi, this is Chris Guld with Geeks On Tour, and this tutorial video is a quick run-through of the publishing process, how to publish a book using Kindle Direct Publishing. It's kdp.amazon.com. Here's the home page. You do need to set up an account. It's free. It's Amazon. I am signed in as an account. And I highly recommend that you do watch their videos and read all their help. But I just want to go quickly through the process. I'm going to click here on Learn How Easy It Is. Once again, read through all this and watch the videos. I want to go straight to making a paperback, how to publish, prepare your manuscript and cover, check out our tools and resources. What I'm looking for is a template. I want to make sure that I'm just going to use Microsoft Word to create the document, and I want to use their template so that I know my margins, etc. are good. So here are the tools and resources. There are tools for writing the actual manuscript and for making the cover. I'm talking about the manuscript, and I'm going to be doing a paperback. Lots of information. I am looking for manuscript templates right here. More information. Now choose a template. I can have a template with sample content. I do recommend that actually, but to be as quick as possible, I'm just going to get a blank template. You click download and put it somewhere. I've already done that, so I'm just going to go and open it. It comes in a zip file, and then when you unzip the main file, you get more zip files for each language. So I unzipped the English, and now you get a template for each file size, each book size. So 6x9 is really standard, and that's what I chose, but you can choose any other one. Starting with the template means the page size and the margins are all set properly. So I open that template, and that takes me to a blank Word document, all set for a 6x9 book, and has the proper margins, and it has some styles. So erase this, and you can just start typing. Now you do need to know how to use word styles. Headings should be in the heading style, and paragraphs should be normal style, and there might be a bunch more. Now I have just about a 10-page file that is a summary of my Learn Google Photos book. I've already pasted that content into this template, and I'm going to show you that. So using the template provided, here is my file, and notice it contains some images. So now that I have my document complete and it's formatted, we go back to KDP, and this time you go to the bookshelf. So the bookshelf is where all of your published books will show up, and you can create new ones. So I'm just going to click on paperback. Now you just fill out this form. You might have a series name, you might have an edition number. If not, you just leave it blank. You really should put in a description if you're going to put this book on Amazon. Keywords will also help your book get found, but I'm not going to do any of that. Categories. Categories are important. This is nonfiction, and I'm going to call it photography. Save. Save and continue. Here is where you can let Kindle Direct Publishing get you an ISBN number. Publication date will be the date it's first published. You pick the kind of paper you want it printed on, the trim size, the bleed settings. Then you upload your paperback manuscript. And I'm just uploading that Word document. You can go to a cover creator, or you can upload a cover that you already had. We had somebody else create one, and we would upload it here. Now it takes a few minutes for it to process your uploaded document and see if everything is okay for making a book. So far, so good. It says everything is successful. Now we're going to preview it. Oops, I uploaded the wrong cover. It's just the front cover rather than the front, the spine, and the back cover. I'm going to have to redo that. Exit Print Previewer. So I can go back to the cover area and just upload again and give it the right one this time. Launch Previewer. Once you are previewing your book, you will see if there are any errors, and you have to figure them out and fix them before you can continue to publish the book. So you go through and you'll see some red marks. You'll have to read the information. This red exclamation point, and then you have to read the information and learn how to fix it. You'll go out and fix it and then come back in, and once you have it all done, then you will approve. Once it's all done and previews properly, then you'll come back and save and continue, and the next step is pricing. You set the price, and then you confirm. They spend maybe 24 hours to review it, and then it's on Amazon. Congratulations.
Cool.
So one thing I want you to realize, did you notice anywhere in there where you had to pay any money?
It's all free.
It is all free. And as you'll hear during our interview with Nick, there's not even any minimum print run. So there's no reason why not to publish your book if there's something you want to publish. Now, time for our main event. We have a interview of our good friend Nick Russell, who is a New York Times best-selling author with 42 self-published books. Hi, Nick.
Hello there. How are you?
I am good. And it's just so good to be able to see you. We used to run into you all the time on the road when we were RVers.
I thought you were stalking me for a while.
And how long did you live the RV life, Nick?
Just over 18 years, full time.
Wow. I know we actually first met you when you were teaching classes through Life on Wheels. And this was our very first year on the road, and we learned a lot from you. And now you are off the road, and how did that come about?
When we were full-timing, we, like all new full-timers, thought we were going to do this forever. And then we got to the point where, someday we'll probably do something different. We don't know what. We talked about buying a house, buying a lot someplace in an RV park and parking the rig and that sort of thing. But then we also always said that when it stopped being fun, we'll just stop. We'll do something different. And we kind of settled that we like this area in Florida. We're on the Central Coast between Daytona Beach and Titusville. And started looking around, and there were a couple of parks where you could buy a lot, but we got to looking at them, and the more we looked at it, my wife, Terry, is a weaver, and she really wanted room for her looms and that sort of thing. Me riding, I can kind of work anywhere, but we wanted a little more. I really wanted a boat, and there were some things we wanted to do that just didn't work with the RV lifestyle. And we kind of thought that, someday we'll get a lot and travel part of the year and such and such. And then one day we just looked at each other and I said, "Are you having fun?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Neither am I." And we knew it was time. So we found
that is absolutely when it is time. Well, I'm thrilled to get to see you, but we're here today to talk about self-publishing. Now, you come by it a lot more honestly than I do. You have a long background in publishing, right? You started with newspapers?
Correct. Most of my working life, I was in the small town newspaper business. I owned newspapers in Oregon and Washington and Arizona. And then we went on the road. We started the Gypsy Journal RV travel newspaper, which was kind of places to go and things to do and that sort of thing. So I've been, in one way or another, I've been making my living with words for much of my life.
So you have a website that you keep up to. It was first your daily travel
my
website,
blog, yes.
But you have kept it up on a daily basis, even though you're not on the road anymore.
Since 2006, I believe. 2007, something like that.
And what's the best way for people to get there? I mean, I go to gypsyjournalrv.com, but I think you have another link that gets there.
Or gypsyjournalblog.com, I believe, too. There's 2 or 3 ways to get there.
Is there a Nick's blog?
I think so, but I won't swear. I've got so many out there, I can't keep track of them.
You know how to get.
Yeah.
You know how to get there.
I just have a little icon on my computer I click on.
But now you have a lot more going on Amazon. So, yeah, we are here to talk about self-publishing, and both you and I do it with the Kindle Direct Publishing that goes through Amazon.
That's
so
correct.
I just want people to see your page on Amazon, and they can buy any of your books. And which one is it that is the brand new?
The newest one is called The Good Years. And
Okay.
it's the sequel to Tinder
Look at
Street.
all these.
It's my 42nd
You
book.
also have a page on BookBub. Now, what is BookBub?
Well, BookBub is many things. It's a portal for authors to reach readers both through ads and through, they can follow an author on BookBub and they get a notice when new books come up. BookBub also, you can buy ads with them that they send out to thousands and thousands of readers every day. And so there's a lot of different things you can do with BookBub, but the big thing for an author is to have people follow you there.
So you have, what did you say? 42
42,
books.
yes. Mm-hmm.
42.
And I'm working on 43 now.
And they were all self-published.
Yes.
Now, but you did consider finding a publisher at one point in time, right?
And early on, I queried a few agents and publishers, and they basically blew me off, and they weren't interested in me. And that turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me.
Tell why.
Well, because they want to own you, basically. You know, when my first book, my first novel, which was my 11th book, Big Lake, which was self-published. I'd actually written it many years before and sat on it forever because even though I'd done 10 nonfiction books and a lot of newspaper work, I didn't have any faith in myself as a novelist or in writing fiction. And finally, my wife and a friend kept nagging me that, ebooks are becoming the thing. Just put it out there and see what happens. And I did, and it took off very well, and it made the New York Times bestseller list. And then the publishers...
The first novel is the one that made the
Yes,
New
ma'am.
York Times bestseller list, huh?
It was released in May of 2011, and that December it made the list. And then I had publishers and agents knocking on my door wanting to talk to me.
And what did you tell them?
Well, I looked at the numbers and basically laughed in their face because the numbers that they wanted for that first book and the next 2 in the series, there are now 18 in the series, but for those first 3 books, they started out offering me $7,500. And 10% of now that $7,500 was not what they were going to, that was an advance against future royalties. And then the royalties would be 10%. But I had to work under their schedule. I could not release anything else until they were ready for me to release a new book. I couldn't even write my blog or the Gypsy Journal newspaper. I couldn't do anything. And I looked at the numbers and I said, you guys are crazy. And they eventually got up to 22,000, I think it was, or something along those lines. And I still laughed at them and said, no, first of all, I don't play well with others. I don't want someone to tell me when I can write. They thought I should release no more than 2 books a year. The book I just released is my 5th book for this year, and there'll be a 6th one by the end of the year. And that first book that they wanted to offer me that money for 3 books, actually, that first book alone, Big Lake, has made me over $90,000.
Wow.
So,
and that's mostly with ebook, right?
About 85% or more of what I do is ebooks or Kindle Unlimited.
Is ebooks.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also, you get printed versions.
My books are available in either ebook or print book, and the first few are also available in audiobooks, but I don't do those anymore because they just don't sell well enough.
And I think you've told me the story. Yeah. Tell the story about your mother-in-law and telling her that you only make 35 cents per each ebook that you first put out.
When I first started Big Lake, I had it priced at 99 cents because I just wanted to see if anybody would read it. And when it took off on the Christmas day of 2011, it was selling a book a minute, We kept checking the numbers, and it was a book a minute. And it was selling for 99 cents, which I made 35 cents royalty. My mother-in-law said to my wife, well, so what? He's making 35 cents a book. And she said, Mommy sold 100,000 books. Do the math. And then she went, well, he's always been so talented. You know that. And surprisingly, yes. Of all the books I've written, the only ones she's ever read are the two newest series, Tender Street and the follow-up, The Good Year. She's read both of those in one sitting pretty much and really enjoyed them.
Your mother-in-law.
My mother-in-law, yes.
Yeah, because I know your wife absolutely reads every one.
Carrie is my first editor and proofreader, and without her, I would just be nothing. I mean, she takes the rough piece of coal I hand her and hands me back a diamond. And so any success I've had is much due to her.
So let's talk a little bit more about the process. You dictate most of it, but it's being transcribed in Word.
Well, first of all, I'm a two-finger typist at best, and I have arthritis in my fingers, so typing on a really, really good day, I could do about 3,000 words. But then my hands would hurt so much the next day I couldn't do anything at all. So I switched to using Dragon Naturally Speaking and a digital microphone. And it's easy for me to do 5,000 words a day. I've done 10,000 words many, many days. And then I take the digital microphone, plug it into my computer, run everything through Dragon Naturally Speaking, and then cut and paste a word.
Cut and paste to Word. Okay.
Right.
But in any case, it is just a Word document. You're not
Right.
using any kind of special
No.
software
No.
for this self-publishing. And then you go to Kindle Direct Publishing, right?
Well, I learned a long time in the newspaper business that there are some things that I can do, but it's easier to have somebody else do, and my time's more valuable. So formatting a book for me it takes a day to format a book and get all the chapters in and all the links and that sort of thing. So I have a young lady that I pay for it, and she charges me $60 to do both a print and an ebook, and she's done in 2 or 3 hours. So once that's done, the ebook is uploaded to Amazon as a Word file, and the paperback book, the print book, is uploaded as a PDF.
Okay. Yeah. Now it used to be that Kindle Publishing was for the ebooks and
Create space.
Create
Right.
Space. Yeah, was for the print.
Right.
But now that's all been rolled into one.
Rolled into one thing.
And I think, as I recall, we submitted just one file, and
Yeah.
they created both the print and the.
They can, yes.
And since you've been doing this for so long, you might not have even been there lately, but on Kindle Direct Publishing, they have so much help
Yes.
available.
They're very supportive.
Yeah, there's just, you can get complete instructions on how to do it. And I downloaded a template, a template for Word that, told me even down to what size font to do and what margins,
Right.
and how to do so you really can do it all
Absolutely.
yourself.
So I tell people you don't need a publisher. There's a lot of vanity publishers out there who are people who charge you to do all of this, and then they keep the biggest chunk of the money. You don't need that either. There's nothing you can't do for yourself or hire out very cheaply. I have an excellent cover artist, Elizabeth Mackey, and I think you work with her too.
Yes.
And
yes.
she does all of my covers, and she is a whiz. I mean, I just give her an idea and say, my latest book is set in the 1920s, and here's some ideas. The guy, the father of the one family drives a streetcar, one's a newspaper reporter, and she came up with a beautiful cover for it. I don't have that handy right now, but my first, here's a recent one she did for me, Big Lake Quarterback, and it was about a high school football player who mysteriously disappears right before the big game. And I don't know what I want, but I know it's going to be about a high school football game. And she came up with a beautiful cover. So it's sometimes better to pay someone to do that work for you.
Absolutely.
Put your time into what you can do yourself.
Yeah. And she's quick too.
Yes, she is.
Have you helped any other people get into publishing? Actually, you taught some classes, right?
I did some classes on that at my rallies when we were doing rallies for the Gypsy Journal subscribers. I also did some workshops, freestanding workshops and things like that. And I enjoy teaching. That's the one thing I miss about Life on Wheels is teaching seminars. I really enjoy it. But like other things, it's gotten to where, especially with COVID, you can't do anything now. And I just don't have the time I used to have available. But I do love the teaching part of it. And I'm hearing from people every day. I hear from, wannabe authors or someone who's new and wants to know how to do something. And so I do a lot of that just online, answering questions for people every day.
I actually have a picture of a time that we attended one of your publishing seminars.
That was in Elkhart, Indiana. I remember that.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah, you recognize that. So we learned a lot from you. And yes, it was you that convinced me there's just no reason to look for a publisher, that you really can do it yourself. I see. I have one more picture here.
The old bus.
Yeah.
We started out with a Fleetwood motorhome that was nothing but problems, and we got rid of that and we purchased an old MCI bus, a 1976 bus, and stripped it out to bare metal inside. And my wife did 99% of the work because she's the handyman in the family, and we converted that bus and lived in it for 8 years. Took it all over the country.
And that's right. This picture is from your last RV, right?
Yes, that's my wife Terry with her loom. She's an amazing weaver. Some of the things she turns out are just awesome, and she taught herself how to do all of it.
A loom inside an RV.
Right.
Just crazy.
And now the loom room in our house is bigger than the whole RV was.
Just to our viewers out there, it is just amazing the people that you meet on the road.
It is.
So now you wanted to write books, and that has become your living. This is your occupation and your income. If somebody just says, "Oh, I have this story in me and I just want to get it out. I don't care if I make any money on it." Do you encourage them?
Sure, why not? It's like I have a friend who draws and paints. She will never sell anything, but she loves to do it. She loves the creative process, and she'll post something on Facebook about her last painting or her last stuff. Sure, why not? If that makes you happy, it doesn't have to be about money always. I mean, I need to make an income, and this works very well and gives me a very nice income. But if you just want to express something, if you want to get something out there, that's fine too. Just the other day, someone, here, my grandfather, here's a great story that, maybe you could turn into a book, or I've got an idea for a book that you should write. And I was like, you have one idea for a book. I've got 30 ideas for books that I'll never live long enough to publish, and I get new ones every day. So, yeah.
Well, I just had to get out my, I had the need to put down everything I know about Google Photos, and that's about it. Although I might want to write a story someday.
Well, I love writing fiction. I didn't think that was really my thing until I did it. But there's like this whole little world you can create, and as I've said many times, when I start writing a book, I have no idea how it's going to end up. I may think it's going to end up in a certain place, and it goes off in an entirely different direction. The Stillborn Armadillos, which was the first book in my John Lee Quarles series, I pictured it going one way, and it actually wound up being a totally different story than where I thought it was going to end. And that happens quite often, and that's surprising to me, and I enjoy it because it's like I get done and go, darn, I never saw that one coming.
And you have written some nonfiction books too, but you've told me that they don't sell as well as the fiction.
No, I have written 10 nonfiction books, mostly about travel and RVing and working on the road and things like that. And for every one of those I sell literally hundreds and hundreds of the fiction. And actually, when I started out in that seminar that you went to in Elkhart, Indiana, I hadn't gotten into the fiction end of things much. I just put out the first Big Lake book. And I said then that really, if you want to make money, niche publications about certain things that you're good at, whether it be Google Photos or remodeling a bus or whatever it is where I would recommend going. I've done a 180 degree on that because for me, the fiction has now become the thing that really works.
And back to the process again.
Mm-hmm.
When you submit it, do you submit the ebook and the print book at the same time?
No, I don't. When I do a book, I proof it. Then Terry also proofs it. I write 2 or 3 chapters and she'll proof those while I'm writing more. So she's continually proofing as I'm going. And then I have 2 other proofreaders, Judy Ryan. I can't pronounce it. Judy.
Reinheimer.
Thank
Cool
you.
Judy.
Cool Judy. And another dear friend, Roberta Jensen, who both have master's degrees, I believe. And they also proof it. Chapter, I do 2 or 3 chapters at a time. Then when it's done, all 3 proof the final book, the whole book. That's all before it's released. There are still typos that slip in. In the latest one, there were 3 different typos. Little things. One character's name is Lucas, and in one place I'm calling him Lewis. There's a character named Alex, and in one place I call him Alec. So these little things that just slip by no matter how much you proofread. And so that's why I wait until I get. It's easy to change an ebook. You can just go in and make a change and it's done. But with a print book, there's a lot more, because if you change too much, the page count can change. Lots of things can change on you.
Yeah,
So
that's a good idea.
I just yesterday released the ebook of Tinder Street, which was the first book in the Tinder Street saga. The print book. The ebook's been out a couple of months now, but I just yesterday released the print.
So you just had a book launch a week ago or so?
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
That was the Good Years. That's the second book in the Tinder Street series.
Okay. And so how many of those have sold now?
I think somewhere around 1,500 to 2,000.
Wow. And see, we just had our book launch a couple of weeks ago, and we've sold to 300.
300 and counting.
Which I think is fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is a big part of the difference, is the fiction versus nonfiction. Of course, an awful lot of the difference is also your reputation as an author, and having a series, right? People are waiting for the next book in the series.
Right. I have 3 series out now. I have one, plus I have a standalone book called Black Friday that people say is one of the best books they've ever read, but it's not a series, so it hardly sells at all. The new Tinder Street book, The Good Years, has already sold more than Black Friday has in 5 years, even though it's an excellent book. So, and it takes about 3 books to get a series off.
The nonfiction books that you published many years ago, they're still there on Amazon.
Oh yeah, they're still available. Mm-hmm.
So does Amazon ever remove a book for inactivity?
No, not in my experience. I've got a couple of them that hardly ever sell anything.
So there's really no reason why, if somebody doesn't have an idea of a book they want to publish, to go ahead and do it. It costs nothing. It costs nothing to go through the process.
Right.
Then it's on Amazon and it stays there, whether you sell any or not. So.
Exactly. So why not? I do a lot of marketing ahead of time, through my blog, through Facebook, things like that. So usually when I announce a new book is out, within the first 48 hours, I sell 1,000 copies. So, but that's because, as I've said in my seminars and to people online, is that, the real work starts when you finish the book, and even before you finish, because the marketing is the hard part. And, it's getting that word out there to people, letting them know what's going on, that sort of thing.
Any last words then for people who are interested in self-publishing?
Build a reader base, and it takes a while to do that. There are lots of ways to spend money. There are a lot of people that will tell you they're going to get you 1,000 reviews. There are lots of people that have all these get-rich-quick ideas and make it easy. It's not easy. It's a job, and you approach it like any other business. So, get readers out there, interact with your readers. I'm always talking to my readers online. I got an email today from a Facebook message from someone about a scene in my latest book. He said, I'm a 65-year-old man, and I read the scene, and I had tears in my eyes when it was done. And, that made me feel good, that because my readers really relate to my characters. The one thing I hear over and over is that I feel like all your characters are my best friends. I feel like I've known these people. They're my family. They're my neighbors. And, that's been my big thing is building that readership base. and getting them.
I know some of your characters, and
We recognize some of them.
Some of them may be based on real people. It's been fun. I can't think of a better thing I want to do at this point in my life.
So what a wonderful thing, to do what you love and be so good at it that you make money at it and get to live the way you want to live. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
Nick.
And back to you,
love
because you
that.
guys have done the same thing. I've known you for a long time when you were first starting out, and seeing how you've grown with your business, and because you've taken care of your audience and taken care of your customer base. And I'm proud of you, because you've done a great job of it.
If people would like to get in touch with you, is there a good way? Is there a Facebook
Sure.
page or?
I have 2 Facebook pages. I have a personal Facebook page, Nick Russell. I have another one called Nick Russell Books, which is about my books and the authoring part. My email is editor@gypsyjournal.net. So I'm not too hard to find.
Okay.
just search for Nick Russell, author.
There you go.
New York Times best-selling author.
That and 50 cents will get you a cup of coffee.
Excellent. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. Nice talking to you again.
Yeah, that was really nice talking with him.
It was. I hope we get to see you in IRL, in real life, sometime soon here, Nick. I'm sure we will again sometime.
Yeah, so Nick has a book launch just a week ago, I guess. The Good Years, Book 2 in the Tender Street Saga. And that's his new series. I've read most of the Big Lake ones and a few of the John Lee Quarles books. So,
and I've been reading this, and it's historical fiction about a family, and that's more up my alley. So that's great.
yeah, check it out on Amazon. Any questions out there? Did you see anything, Chris?
Well, it looks like any questions Nick answered right in the
Right in the
chat
chat
there.
Okay.
So I think we can go on.
All right.
And there's just one more thing that we want to talk about before we finish up, and that is the spiral binding, because this is just kind of fun. It's something that I am so intent on with a how-to book. This is the binding that you get from Amazon. It's just a solid, and when you have a how-to book, sometimes you want to be able to open to a certain page and have it lay flat. I think that's so important. And Kindle Direct Publishing, Amazon, does not do the spiral binding. So here's how we do it. How Jim does.
Hi, we've received another shipment of books by Chris, Learn Google Photos. Now I have to take the spine or the binding off of this, and I use this in order to make those spiral bound books that she likes for our special. So I have to take this piece off. I do that with this really nice paper cutter that has a fence and a crank down, so it'll hold everything in place while I do the slicing. Cut off the binding like that. And then I have a really nice clean cut here and separate pages for all.
What are you doing there, Jim?
Oh, I'm just punching holes in these pieces of paper so we can coil spiral bind them. So, I have a whole book here with holes in it. Now I get to sit down and put the coil in. And it goes pretty quick.
So that's how it's done. Did you notice Jim's COVID curls in that video?
Well,
He finally got brave and told me it was okay to take the scissors to his hair. So I
no more COVID curls. All right. Well, did you learn anything? Questions for you. True or false? Kindle Direct Publishing can create both Kindle ebook and printed paperback books.
True. With even just one file.
For best results, write your book using 1. Special software, or 2. Microsoft Word with KDP template.
Number 2. That's what they expect.
The minimum print run required for using the free Kindle Direct Publishing system is 0, 25, or 500.
0. You don't have to print any. You can just have it up there and see if anybody's interested.
True or false? KDP can do spiral binding.
Nah.
That's why I have to do all
now,
the work.
There are other publishers that
do.
will, and we considered going that route.
I started checking that out, and wow, it's just so much easier with Kindle
Well,
Direct.
and we already had these equipment because we used to make little books just for our own classes,
right,
using the spiral. So
Workbooks.
He had all that. So that's
right. All right. Kindle Direct Publishing is part of A, Amazon, B, Microsoft, C, Barnes & Noble.
Amazon, which is why it's so good. That's where people go to buy books.
Images must be high resolution for printing, meaning a minimum of what? 600, 300, 150, or 72?
B, 300 DPI. If you have 600, that's great, but 300 is minimum.
Okay, right after this show, we're going to be in backstage, and our premium members, this is a real benefit of premium membership at Geeks On Tour. We have an online Zoom meeting after this show. You get the link from an email that Chris sends out to premium members. It's also available on our website underneath member login menu.
And I think Nick is going to join us. And in any case, thank you so much, Nick, for recording the interview with us earlier. I think it's very inspiring for people to see what you've done.
Okay. Sign up for our free newsletters, geeksontour.com/news. Members get the 2020 edition of the book now. You can get it, the ebook, right now. Become a premium member at Geeks On Tour and subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to go ahead and click on like down there on the YouTube.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up
Give us
and
a
subscribe.
thumbs up.
Hey, Nick says yes, he'll be there. So
Cool.
In just a few minutes, we will start the backstage, and you'll be able to ask any further questions there.
Okay, so Chris, what's the webpage that lists all of our YouTube shows?
geeksontour.com, and there's a menu item called YouTube Shows.
And the webpage that lists all of our recent newsletters.
geeksontour.com, and blogs and news is the menu item. Newsletters is under there.
Okay, again, become a member. And the backstage, and we'll be back there in just a couple of minutes. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we're Geeks On Tour. See you next time. Thanks for watching.